Hi folks, I'm the Lost Mapper and today is day 15 of the 30-day map challenge. The theme is OpenStreetMap. It's also GIS day and I hope folks got out to meet some other GIS nerds in their area. I spent part of my day over at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, hanging out at the IGT lab and meeting some of the folks there and learning a few things. I took a little class on ArcGIS Survey 123. That was pretty interesting for doing field work and getting information from people. And there was also a great talk from Sunny Fleming. I think you can find some of her videos online. I think they're really inspirational to watch. So today we're going to be trying to make a map with OpenStreetMap. And what I wanted to do is try to pull some of the data that we're seeing here for DeSoto State Park in Alabama to my local QGIS installation, so that we can actually manipulate or style the data how we'd like. So if we hop over into QGIS, we can go into the XYZ tiles and add OpenStreetMap. And then I'm going to use the locator bar, Command K, to look for DeSoto State Park. Zoom to that area, and I'm going to zoom out a bit by hitting Command minus and finding the general area that I want to be in a little bit more. Okay, I think that looks good. So I want to, there's a bunch of hiking and mountain biking trails that I frequent, and I kind of want to make a little map of those. So I'm going to just zoom into this area. And I'm going to hit Command B to save a bookmark for myself. DeSoto State Park. Cool. Now, this is super convenient to have this XYZ tile, but it's just images. It's just a tile of images. I can't interact with it. I can't style it the way I want. I can't change it, can't do anything with it. But there is an interface that they provide to allow you to download this data and do what you like with it. So we're going to add a plugin. We're going to go to Plugins, Manage and Install Plugins. And you're going to head to, let me pull this down here, go to your not installed and search for Quick OSM, which is short for OpenStreetMaps. And we're going to install that plugin. And once that's done, you can hit close and you will get a new toolbar, which I'm going to move up to over here. And also underneath the vector menu, there's going to be a new entry called Quick OSM with 2 entries under here. We're going to just worry about the Quick OSM one for now. So you can either choose this menu item or click this new button that you get. You will get a little license agreement telling you, hey, you understand the copyrights and you should add copyright OpenStreetMap contributors to any maps that you make with this. I'm going to say that I understand that. And then you get this little search form. And this basically allows you to query based on a bunch of keys and values in a specific location, either inside of a place or around a point, or what we're going to use, which is the canvas extent. But you might be wondering, what is it that I can query on? So I think an easy way to figure that sort of thing out is if you actually head to the OpenStreetMap website and find an area that you're interested in. And then over on the right here, there's this query features tool, which will let you point to an area and it'll tell you what features are there. So I'm going to point to this road here, the DeSoto Parkway. And on the left here, it's going to tell me what is in that area. What are the nearby features? And in this case, I want this DeSoto Parkway. So if I click on that, it's then going to show me a way, and I can see the things that it is tagged with. So it has a name, I guess an alternate name here, and then what's called a highway tertiary. And if I click on a couple other roads, and see what I get here. I got another country road. It seems to be highway equals something will get me a road. And if I click on a trail, I can see that I get a path called the Green Trail. And if I click on that, I see I get highway equals path. And there's a bunch of other tags here as well that you could pull from. So it seems like in general, roads and paths are using highway equals something. So if I just wanted to get anything that's a path, I can come back to here, and in the key, I can type highway. And then underneath the value, if I click on the down arrow, I'll get all the entries here that are a possibility. And I'm going to choose path. And then I'm going to hit run query. And that's going to run this query against the canvas extent that I selected. And now you can see I have a new layer with a bunch of entries in here. So it's already gone and categorized this by color. I guess that's a feature where if it sees a color field, it's going to give you a categorized symbology based on that item. I can also right click and open up my attribute table and see the data that it's pulled down. So there's an ID, there's a type, what the highway is, what the color is, a bunch of these different attributes. So I could pull those down separately, or if I wanted all of the types of highways, I'm going to disable this layer for now. I'm going to go back into the Quick OSM plugin. I'm going to choose highway, and I'm going to choose the canvas extent, but I'm not going to put any value in. So it's actually going to go and get everything that's of a type highway, regardless of what the value is. So I'm going to click run on that. And it seems to have done a similar thing with the colors, but actually there's a lot more data now. And if I open up that attribute table, I can see that there's more than just paths. There's residential, there's service roads, tertiary, track, path. So I'm going to remove that other one, the highway path. It will also get point data for you as well, what they call nodes. And in this case, I don't think we actually need any of those. So I'm going to remove that one as well. And I'm going to jump, make sure I'm in that layer. And instead of symbolizing things by category, I'm going to leave it on category, but instead of value color, I'm going to use the highway value. And I'm going to delete the existing ones and then hit classify again. And now I got things categorized by the highway. So I can see, now I can style my roads separately from my paths. We'll take a look at how that looks. And I can toggle off the OpenStreetMap tiles, and now I just see the vector data that we brought down. Another way you could find out about how the tagging is done is just Googling for it. So if I did OpenStreetMap and say mountain biking, they have a wiki page that will give you a breakdown of how things are meant to be tagged. So in this case, we can see that highway equals path or track is what's used for mountain biking trails. So I'm going to head back to OpenStreetMap, and I'm going to identify some other things that I want to pull down. So I want to get the rivers in the area. And if I look at this stream, I can see that there's an attribute called waterway. And I'm guessing underneath waterway, there's different levels like stream, creek, brook. So I'm just going to also pull down using that plugin. I'm going to pull down any type of waterway. So we'll run that. And you can see that I keep getting these node entries as well. I'm going to remove those and show you how you can prevent that from happening if you want to. So we'll go back in. We're going to search on waterway. We're going to search using the canvas extent. And then somewhere in here, oh, there it is. There's an advanced section. And you can actually say, hey, I only want ways or relations or nodes. If you want to understand what these different types are, you can look for OpenStreetMap elements. And that will take you to a page that describes the different types of things that you can bring down. So a node is essentially a point. A way can either be a line or a polygon, depending on whether or not it's closed. And a relation is basically a way to identify a relationship between different things, like this node is part of this way, or this way is part of this boundary or whatnot. So this time I shouldn't get any point layers when I run this query. Except it did. All right. Why was that? I wonder if that's because I also have points selected. I'm going to run the query again. Okay, so it looks like you need to have both node endpoints unselected. So I'm going to remove the extraneous ones. And then in waterway, I'm actually going to make this blue. I'm going to use 0.75 as the thickness. All right, so I've got, if I shut off the XYZ tiles, now I can see I've got some water, and that water is pretty similar to the one brought down by the tiles. Okay, if we head back to the map, I can see I've got the rivers, but I don't get the little ponds in the lake. So let's identify those. And this one has water, and I can see that there's a field, a tag called natural with the type water. And I could just pull down water, but I suspect that there are other types of natural features that I might want in my map. So I'm actually going to pull down all of the natural features. So back into the plugin. Actually, before we do that, I want to make sure that I am in the area of my bookmark. Yeah, okay. I moved away a little bit. Go into the plugin, and I'm going to pick natural. Again, if you want to preview, you can pull down the drop down and see all the potential types of things. Cliffs, craters, geysers, lots of stuff. Gonna set the extent again and run that query. I forgot to uncheck my points and whatnot. I'm going to leave it as is for now. I'm just going to remove, let's see. I don't see these actually adding or removing anything in particular. So I'm going to remove those as if I did not ask for them. And then let's jump into this natural layer. Let's change it to categorize and do it based off of natural. And let's classify them. Looks like I've only got water. That works for me. I'm going to change that to be a blue fill, same color as the rivers, with no stroke. So I'm going to change the stroke style to none. All right, and if I shut off my OpenStreetMap layer, that looks pretty good. I'm going to use a little trick on the Mac. I've turned on the tile layer, and I can see that the background is sort of a, I don't know, very light brown or light gray. I'm going to use the digital color meter on the Mac, which will let me copy that color. And then I'm going to set the background color of my project to be that same color. So go to general, and I'm going to paste that in. So F2, EF, E9 if you are looking for that color. And if we turn off OpenStreetMap, yep, same color. And the one thing I see missing are the boundaries of the park. So let's head back into OpenStreetMap. Let's use that query feature. I'm going to click on one of the boundaries. I see a protected area called Little River Canyon National Preserve. And there's a bunch of different types of tags. I believe boundary is the type that I'm looking for. So back to the plugin, going to query for boundary. There's a bunch of different types of values in here: parks, postal codes, administrative. Set my map extent. Nope. Canvas extent. Run that. Okay, bunch of data in here. Let's take a look at the attribute table. And I've got 3 types in here: administrative, national park, and protected area. So I'm going to also some lines. I don't think I care about the lines or the points here. So I'll remove those. I'm going to head into the boundary layer and change the symbology to categorized. I'm going to categorize it based on boundary, classify it, and get these different types in here. And I think I'm just going to use, for the parks and protected areas, I'm going to use that green border. And for administrative, I'm going to use this red outline, but I'm actually going to change it to this pink color. And if we look at OpenStreetMap, it looks like for administrative, there's sort of this dash dot line. So why don't we change it to something like that? So I go into the line and I'm going to change the stroke style to dash dot dot line. It kind of looks like what that is. And turn that on, and that's looking a little bit closer. So if I close some of these up, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the OpenStreetMap layer on top, and then I can toggle it on and off and see what's underneath. So I think I need to make these boundaries a little bit thinner. So this one is going to be 0.25, and the green ones I'll make the same as well. I'm not going to worry about that double stroke light green, dark green that it has, mostly because I don't know how to do that just yet. All right. Not too bad. And then what I want to do is dig into the roads. So the roads are kind of a white line with a gray border. So if I head into the highway layer and I choose residential, I'm going to choose the topo road entry for that. So I'm going to do that for residential, secondary, service as well, and tertiary. And then maybe what I'll do is for path, I'm just going to use the topo path one. And I think I'll do that for track as well for now. All right, so if we turn off our OpenStreetMap layer, okay. It looks like the trails use like a light orange or pink color. So why don't we do that same thing? Let's grab path. Let's change the color to maybe this orange color for now. And let's actually change. I'm not going to use this custom dash. I'm going to use just this dotted line. That seems to be what it was using. Okay. I think that looks a little bit closer. And then the last thing I want to do for now is put the names of the things on them. So head into highway, switch over to labels, choose single label. And then if you scroll down, I believe there is an attribute called name. And I'm going to make these a slightly smaller size. Oop, I could probably even make them smaller than that. Okay. And the other thing I'm going to do is change how these are placed. So hop back into labels, go to placement, and there's a mode called curved, and that will actually follow the lines. That'll look a bit more like what OpenStreetMap is doing. They actually have them on the road. Let's see if we can do that. Yes, online is one of the positions. So I'm going to choose that. And it looks like I'm missing a few of the roads. So I'm going to make sure to update those under symbology. Unclassified. Let's just make that a road as well for now. There we go. So that looks fairly close. This is something we could spend a lot of time tweaking, getting the different road sizes to match up and whatnot. But I think this is a good start and gives you an idea of how to get OpenStreetMap data into your map. So show me what you made with it. Subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I hope you had a good day. See you tomorrow.